Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. We continue to see further price drops. I've already talked about that in the last video because it did not seem like that the momentum was shifting yet. So as soon as you see some of the indicators turn around, we might need to revisit that. But at the moment, for now, and also the way the Bitcoin price came down yesterday, it looked really impulsive. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Of course, before we start here, most cryptos now selling off quite strongly, and it's pretty much for most altcoins as well. What we talked about in the individual altcoin videos, some cryptos already for that correction are now reaching their targets. For example, Solana and VeChain, and we're going to take a look at the other ones, of course, in the individual videos as well. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Yeah, yesterday we were here just coming up, and I told you in the video that I think we might just be, so let's zoom out first. We're coming out, we did drop to the downside here, lost that support box here between 44.2 and 44.5K. We then dropped lower. That was all going according to plan, and then we were coming up, and I told you in the video yesterday that there's a big risk because the momentum isn't shifting yet on the daily, for example, that we are just retesting this for resistance, basically. So having the previous support, so basically you had support here on this in this support zone, yeah, and here as well, that we were just retesting this. And yeah, this is exactly what we have been doing. You could have even called this here a bear flag. It was a bit too early when I made the video yesterday because you couldn't really see it yet, but you can call that a bearish pennant, basically indicating, right, we're coming down here, you're consolidating here because we were oversold on the 1 hour chart, and that gives you then room for another move down. And you can see how perfectly, with very, very high accuracy, we actually reached the next target level. I told you that 42.6, 42.7, where we had support here, for example, resistance here, should be the next support. And we've come down all the way to 42,741. I think that's pretty close, yeah. Again, at the moment, what's coming up here, yes, we see a nice engulfing bullish candle, which is a good sign in this whole downtrend. You haven't seen that yet, not on the 1 hour chart. But again, you're seeing that red candle coming down already quite strongly again. So for now, I would say this still looks very corrective, what's coming up here. Again, you can even call this possibly another bearish pennant. Yeah, after you had here your move down. And yeah, the first target for such a breakout from this pennant would be the beginning of that pennant or the flagpole, which would be that 42.4K level, which basically is 42.7K level. So we're getting into very interesting territory. So first of all, I'm happy that the altcoins are correcting down, providing another entry level, also going in line with my expectations that we are correcting down. And here for Bitcoin, we haven't broken the 42.7K level yet, and the 42.7K level is the level where I told you that from here, I will seriously consider to make the previous primary scenario again the primary scenario. Yeah. So basically, if I zoom out, you can see that from here, then we should go as in the next step. Well, first of all, we've got if we break it, should we really break it? Yeah. And we're going to take a look at that in a minute. But should we break that level, you're going to go down to the 50-day moving average that is running here at 41.8K. That will be the next support. And then we have that channel in which Bitcoin is trading, and this is sitting at 39K. So if you drop below 39K, what will happen? You're going to go down to 34.4. That is also structurally a very, very important level. It is that wave X low here. And then you've got the 33K level, which is that low from January. And after that, you should be able to enter my target area between 29K. So to the upside and that is still what I primarily believe, because just purely, not even if I sentiment-wise think we will drop below it, but just purely by applying the Elliott Wave rules, I need to keep a mainly objective stance as far as possible. And as long as we're not dropping below this structurally relevant level here at 42.7K, my primary scenario will be that from here we should be turning around and move up into that target area here. which starts actually at 51K. That would be the very, very minimum it needs to do. And then we go to 55K and possibly a little bit higher before, however, we are going to turn around. And in both scenarios, we would re-enter that area here. So it's always interesting that sentiment shift. We had a lot of comments here a few days ago when we were going up that Bitcoin is now going to all-time highs. Now these comments have gone quiet. It's always interesting, that sentiment shift. And I mean, nothing has changed for me really. Obviously, the lower we go, the more likely it gets that we get the immediate sell-off. However, at the moment, nothing has changed yet. I still remain with my view that we're going to end in that target area. That hasn't changed at all. And yeah, there are two scenarios. As always, there is one more bullish, one bearish scenario. And if certain levels here are crossed, then we can be more certain to reach, to go this way or that way, which would take a little bit longer. So have we already seen the low now? Well, we ideally take a look at the 8-hour chart. On the 8-hour chart, we can now see here that we still continue to produce negative momentum. So that hasn't shifted yet. We see first support here on the 8-hour RSI. So it's a bit too early to confirm that this is support and it will start to go up from here with momentum. We just need to keep an eye on it. But because the 8-hour chart hasn't shifted yet, the daily also hasn't shifted yet. So looking at how this looks like on the daily RSI, I would think, yes, we have here temporary support, but it's looking like because we dropped below the 50 level, that we might drop even lower. So at the moment, also given that we have here negative momentum coming up on the momentum indicator down there, I think we haven't seen the low yet. That is how it looks at the moment. Yeah, given also that the way we're coming down here, we need to keep an eye here on the 4-hour chart, because on the 4-hour it looks like that we are starting to build upward momentum again. Now, again, that is not much surprise because we are oversold on the 4-hour. So I expect today this to come up a little bit, because we can't maintain that oversold level that long on the 4-hour chart. You're oversold on the 1-hour as well, but the 4-hour takes a little bit longer to correct to the upside. So I think the price, personally, I don't think we're gonna, if we drop through this support level here, 42.7, don't think we're gonna drop through it straight away. I think there will be a bit of fighting around it, and I think that will be required because the 4-hour chart needs to recover a little bit in terms of the momentum indicator, the RSI. So all very interesting at the moment. Good to see here some volatility at the moment. One more thing I wanted to show you is this one here. So we can draw here a little bit of a trend line, but also that one, yeah, potential ascending wedge, yeah, which would have been very much in line with that support box here. That was unfortunately broken to the downside as well. So indicating as well, look, we've broken here to the downside, we've dropped below it, and again, this is not a bullish sign, especially also as we retested here that box from below. So yeah, that's my view here about Bitcoin. By the way, one more thing as well. We talked about this triangle, didn't we? I talked about this triangle before, and it's quite a huge triangle. And if you normally use the height of the triangle to the downside target would actually be here 40.7k. Now take that with a pinch of salt. It's a huge triangle, doesn't really add up. It's a bit too big in my opinion, but just wanted to show you that as well. All right, that is my view here Bitcoin wise. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.